Ebusia and President John Dramani Mahama and the NDC the 13th anniversary program Emma His Excellency Professor John Evans Atta Mills, the former President of the Republic of Ghana. Ebusia was Eljo Medina so President John Dramani Mahama the speech atuga yentie no na kyerwadwen efa video yi ahụ.
Exactly 13 years today we lost a very great man. The weather, I remember, was exactly the same. And after his death for many months, the weather in Accra remained overcast and cold. There was a certain cold, that swept over the land. And so today is almost exactly like the same day that the unfortunate tragedy overtook this country. So let me proceed on the established protocol, but acknowledge two important persons, Her Excellency our Vice President Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman and the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Alban Bagbin, and our party executives, Council of Elders, and all the many friends and family of Atta Mills who have gathered here today. We have gathered here once again on this sacred ground we call Asumdwe Park, under the gentle shade of remembrance to mark the 13th anniversary since the passing of a man whose life, leadership, and legacy continues to speak profoundly to the conscience of our nation from his grave. 13 long years may have passed, but for many of us, the pain of Prz John Evans Atta Mills' departure would always remain fresh. His sudden transition on July 24, 2012, left not only a deep vacuum in our political and national life, but also in the hearts of those who knew him well and worked with him and were touched by his quiet strength and unwavering humanity. This annual moment of reflection is not just a ceremonial act. It is a national duty and an occasion for us to pause and remember the values that guided the man we honor today, which were humility, integrity, discipline, and above all, peace. Prz Mills was a rare breed of leader. He stood tall not just in intellect, but also in his moral stature. In the often turbulent world of Ghanaian politics, he was always calm in the storm, a voice of reason, a voice of restraint, and a voice of hope. His was not the politics of insults or vengeance, but the politics of service, compassion, and reconciliation. Even in the face of provocation, he responded not with anger, but with grace. Even when confronted with betrayal or disappointment, he remained steadfast in upholding his principles. He never allowed power to change who he was. He remained until his last breath a servant of the people, a man of peace, a man of God, and a man of Ghana. As his vice president and one who worked very closely with him, I saw these values in action every day. I witnessed his concern for the most vulnerable in society, his tireless efforts to extend opportunity to every Ghanaian, regardless of background. He was not loud, he was not flamboyant. He believed that leadership should be lived and not performed. Prz Mills governed this country with a deep moral compass. He placed truth over expedience, and he puts people over politics. And he placed the country over self. These are the lessons that continue to resonate, particularly in these times when our politics can be very divisive and disconnected from the hopes of the ordinary Ghanaian. As we stand here at his resting place, we must ask ourselves, what does it mean to truly honor the memory of this great man? It is not enough for us to lay wreaths at his grave once a year. It is not enough for us to sing his praises in death. The most authentic tribute we can give Prz Atta Mills is to carry forward the values that he held dear, is to rekindle the spirit of humility and accountability, rekindle the spirit of ethical leadership that he exemplified. He believed in justice, not just as a legal principle, but as a way of life. He believed that peace was not the absence of conflict, but the presence of fairness and dignity. He believed that the power that was entrusted to leaders should be used to uplift the weak, protect the vulnerable, and give voice to the voiceless. In a world that is increasingly impatient, increasingly loud, and sometimes careless with truth, Prz Mills' life reminds us of the power of stillness, strength in gentleness, and the enduring force of quiet conviction. Today, our country faces many challenges. We inherited an economy in deep distress. We face social divisions that threaten our cohesion and a growing weariness among our people. But if there's one lesson we draw from the life of President Mills, it is that no challenge is insurmountable. When we lead with integrity, when we listen with empathy, and when we govern with principle. It is that lesson that I strive to follow in the reset agenda that we have adopted. So let me say for emphasis that our reset agenda today rests on the foundation of the Better Ghana agenda that was laid by Professor H.E Mills. Asumdwe Park is not just a final resting place, it is a national symbol, a living reminder of what our politics can be and must become. It calls to us to lower our voices and elevate our purpose. It calls on us to be kinder and more accountable, and to remember that in the end, leadership is about legacy. And it's not to be found in statues or slogans, but in the lives of the people that we touch and the examples that we leave behind. To the family of President Mills, we continue to share in your grief and we honor your strength. Your loss was not only yours, it was Ghana's loss. And we will continue to walk with you as we keep his memory alive. To the people of Ghana, let us recommit ourselves to the Ghana that Prz Mills believed in. A Ghana that is united in diversity, strong in values, and anchored in peace. And to Prz Mills, our father, our leader, our teacher, I say, rest well. You may be gone from our sight, but you are never gone from our hearts. Your work lives on in us, and your legacy will continue to light our path. May the soul of Professor H.E Mills rest in perfect peace. Amen. Before I sit, I think our auntie raised the issue of the Prz Mills Memorial Library. The Honorable Kofi Totobi Kwache has been involved with that library from the time it was built. And after we left office, it was handed over to the University of Cape Coast, I remember. After we left office, it fell into a state of disrepair. And we had held this discussion already. And I can tell you that Kofi Totobi and a small group are already working on bringing that memorial library back to the shape in which it should be. And we can be sure that we will let it achieve the objective for which it was set up. Thank you very much.